We're a mixed Caribbean and English family who left the UK to create a life completely different from the one we once lived. Now we are here in Southeast Asia, raising our daughter, reconnecting with nature, and preparing to bring twins into the world. If you're new here, welcome to the Raw and Rooted tribe. And if you've been riding with us from the start, welcome back. Yes then people, welcome to another video from a very wet Koh Samui here in Thailand. We are definitely deep into, I say deep into, that's not necessarily correct, but it feels like we are deep into rainy season right now. It has rained pretty much consistently for the past 4 days, maybe even longer actually, maybe 5-6 days. It's just like torrential rain pour, you know, next thing, or 1 minute shall I say, it is pouring down with rain, and then the next minute it eases off, and then it comes back, and it's just been that kind of flow of, consistent uncertainty as to whether or not it's going to rain or not. Thunderstorms have been incredible, and we've just been trying to make the most of it. Of course, we've got Tiago, Neff, and Little Man here with us as well, so we've been trying to make sure that they get some sense of holiday vibe, some sense of enjoyability whilst they are here, but it has been a challenge. You know, they did go out to Lamai yesterday and spend some time together getting some vegan food. As for those who don't know, Neff, Tiago, and Little Man, they're all plant-based, and of course we are meat eaters, but we have been living in harmony here underneath the same roof, which has been wholesome. And it just goes to show that it doesn't matter what sort of lifestyle that it is that you choose to live. You know, it's about the willingness to be adaptable and accepting in the differences that, you know, individuals incorporate into their life. And so we've just been embracing it. You know, currently everybody's just sitting watching YouTube video. Here we are, and I think Mama made some pregnancy snacks earlier, lactose something. Let's see, let's have a look, because they're in the fridge, so let's see what Mama made. I was actually having a nap with baby girl whilst Mama was making these, so now it's time to check them out, y'all. Oh, so they are just kind of like drying out, I guess. You know, they're like going through the process of hardening. But these are meant to help with lactation, I believe. Now, my plan is to whip up a lovely plant-based meal for us all to sit down and eat and enjoy this evening. You know, for those of you who aren't aware, there was a stage where I was actually plant-based, you know, for like 2 years, vegetarian for a year, plant-based for 2 years, before transitioning back to eating meat products. And you know, the ever-changing flow in lifestyle choices is something that I truly embrace for myself. But today we are going to be making some yummy plant-based food. So I'll be sharing, you know, this whole preparation and cooking process with y'all. You're gonna have to excuse me, brain is not firing on all cylinders again. Very tired, experiencing some sort of sensitivities, you know, inflammation in my digestive system, which isn't the best, but we navigate through it as best as we can. So the brain isn't as is sharp as it usually is, and on top of that, not long woke up from a nap as well. So we're gonna do the best that we can with the energy that we have. Yeah man. That's what we're meant to do as men. We're meant to impart our knowledge and wisdom onto our children based off of our own experiences. So like what you've gone through and what you've learned regarding relationships, manhood, all of those things there, you will have to teach your son. Like you will have to teach. That's your role as a man, as a father, to make sure that you're teaching your son, one, what it is that you would have liked to have been taught when you were younger, and two, what is necessary. And it's straight up scientifically proven nowadays, like how important it is to have a grounded mind in your life. And it's just that realization that we come from a generation that just didn't have that. That's the difference. And I think that's where we're at now in that respect of actually applying emotional intelligence to how one raises the kids, you know, like, so even like me, I'll cuss a Maya out. I've cussed the boys out many a times. But at the same time, I will still give an explanation. So the boys, when they've taken a cussing in the past, at the same time, they've also got the opportunity to sit there and understand as to why. And I think that that's so important. Like, you know, you got told off for this reason, rather than you just got a telling off.
Yeah, well, on that, I'm sure these guys are gonna have a much structure and stronger connection.
Yeah, most definitely. And again, it comes down to.
I'm actually excited to get to those times rather than my dad is just like, talk to your mom.
Straight up. There's also like that element of that element of like, you're raising your children, you're not raising, like, when they're young, you're not raising your friend, you're raising a human being that could potentially be a friend in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's something I sit with the boys. I'm quite glad that they got. So when you're raising your children, quite oftentimes, you know, we try to be their friends. So you got a toddler and you're like, oh, I'm going to be your mate, I'm going to be your mate. But then when it comes to actually them being a disciplinarian, you know, they're kind of like, I can bend the rules a little bit because we're friends. And it's like, actually, we're not. I'm your parent, first and foremost. And you're raising a human being that is actually a decent human being in the world. And there can oftentimes be a case of when you're trying to be over friendly with your child, it actually does more damage than it does good. And so again, it's like that balance. So with the boys, like I say, they would get a cussing. They would get it. They knew who the boss was. There were times, many a times, and it very frequently, where we would just have so much fun. And they would be treated like a friend. But see, like with Tesh, for instance, when he lived with me and I actually started treating him like, you know, giving him more of a broski vibe, it was actually to the detriment of our relationship.
Because he started to take a bit too much.
So it's that you have to find a very fine balance. And that balance changes over time. So at one stage in the journey, it'll be like, you know, you're 60% being parent and you're 40% being a friend. And then at another stage, it might be 80% parent, 20% friend. And then as they get older, the dynamic just starts to change and they become even more, you become even more of a friend. So like now with my boys, I'm not, obviously I'll always be their father, but I'm not like dad anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm their mate as well. So it's not like, oh, shit, what would dad say? It's more like, oh, snap, I need to speak to dad. Because I know he's got my back like that. So it is going down in the kitchen right now. It's been a while since I've whipped up a storm. So much so that, you know, you're like, oh, where do I start? Where do I start, y'all? Shit, I'm getting confusing myself. It's all good. We've got a pressure cooker here. How cool is that? Yeah, that's gonna make a big difference in the length of time that it will take to cook this food. So that's a positive. Now this is, I believe, Chinese kale that we have here. We've got coriander, okra, carrots, tomatoes, spring onion, garlic, pumpkin, you don't know, kidney beans, butter beans, Jamaican curry powder, all-purpose seasoning, and some gluten-free stock cubes. Tiago and Neff brought us the curry powders stock cubes from the UK, so extremely grateful for that because, yeah, seasoning out here is a little bit different. Just a little bit different. Yes, it is, my dude. It really is a little bit different. But yeah, man, right. Just had a little lovely father conversation. And now it's time to get to the cooking station. Feeling like a rookie in the place. And it's crazy because my cooking skills are definitely not that of a rookie. But, you know, when you haven't done something for so long, you just kind of lose that connection to the art, to the practice, you know, just like anything. You don't use it, you lose it, you know? So the goal and the intention is to connect back to that practice, especially as the reality of it is mama is going to be out of action, out of service for the foreseeable. And so, yeah, it's gonna be on me. On top of the editing and everything else, you know. But if you were to ask who's got the tools to do it all, man, shit, I have. So it's time to start putting it back into practice. That is Koji getting upset because, yeah, that's what children do, man. That's what children do. So we're gonna, some spring onions, some ginger, some coriander, and some garlic. That's all gonna get chopped up. That's gonna then get put in the pot and fried down. I'm just waiting for that pot to dry. Moving a little bit scatty, my guy. But yeah. Yeah, that's get fried down. And then we'll start adding the stock cube and the curry powder. Get some garlic in the place. Some garlic in the place. Yeah, boy. Good thing is like, once this part's done and everything's in the pot, it's done. Do you know what I mean? Just have to cook and then it's the rice. Now I'm in two minds. I'm like, do I do rice and peas today? But another part of me is like, rice and peas with butter beans as well. I don't think that's the right combination, to be honest with you. I know that it's not the right combination. My dad would say, "Oh, why did blood clot this?" So I think we're just gonna stick with the butter beans in the stew for today, for true. That's probably the best approach, y'all. But yeah, let's get whipping in at the kitchen. Kids them are making a wally for noise, so you have to excuse the noise in the background. But this is what's going down.
Oh, bread cake. No. Koji, turn the bowl.
Alright, we're at a stage now, we just let that oil warm up. And we could start thinking about adding the onions and the garlic and the ginger. But whilst we're waiting, we'll chop up some coriander. Right, so one of the main reasons as to why I fell out of love with cooking is just due to my stomach sensitivities that I've had to navigate through over the years, you know. That's why it's so important to be extremely mindful with cleaning vegetables as thoroughly as possible, because I cleaned those leaves, the Chinese kale, and yet still, me did see a bug dip on it. Right, coriander and the tomatoes next. Get that in the pot. Oh yes. So now it's time for the okra to get chopped. Right, how are we doing this? Because this is one big backside carrot. Badoom. Big backside carrot. So let's cut it into quarters. But yeah, for any of you that are new here or haven't already, you know, there are videos, you know, dating back to like 2-3 years ago You know, like when I was living in London, I was actually living with Tiago in London. That's when I was on my plant-based journey, training. You know, I was working as a fitness instructor for young children. I was working in New and Peru, space for children, you know, that showed signs of challenging behavior in the education system. That was my bread and butter, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Being of service to the community. Nowadays, it's being of service to the family. How times change. How times change. But yeah. All right. So it's going down. All right. So added turn that around, Jamaican curry powder and the all-purpose seasoning to the pot. And let me tell you, man, this is smelling so good. Like it's making me reminisce on the good days. Currently just cutting the pumpkin now, which will be added in a little while. But first things first is to make a stock. So yeah, here we are in the kitchen. This is how it's going down. You can see the top of my head. God dang. Yeah, so it'll be add the stock to this, get that mix, chop the pumpkins, add that, add the coconut milk, and then left that for do its thing. And so I will give you an update on the progress. Nappy needs changing. Oh no, we're complaining. Koji, what you doing? Homie, where are you? And might be in there by the birthing pool.
Hey, come back.
No? Okay.
Come back.
Say hi. Hi.
You only care about these for 10.
All right. So it is now the evening, early evening. The clock is saying 5:45, so I guess that passes as evening, do you know what I mean? He's saying hello. So Maya is loving being on camera, as always. And we are now at the final stages of cooking dinner. The rice is just, yikes, that was hot. Cooking down right now. I think I'm gonna have to put you down a second, baby. All right. So we have lovely Ital stew, butter beans, carrots, pumpkin, thyme, Chinese, kale, lady fingers, tomatoes. Yeah. Happy with this one. Everybody's saying it smells nice, so that's a positive. Baby wants to come and inspect it again, don't you? You're gonna come and inspect the food, yeah? Having a bit of a breakdown. She needs to see the food. She loves to see food, apparently. And herself in the reflection of the lid. Is it looking good? Yeah, looking good. Do you smell it? And this one? Okay. Nice coconut rice. Woo! You gonna be having some food soon? I think someone's hungry.
So I'm like, all right, the same price. Okay.
And there we have it. I told you. That's how we do. This one's hot, man. Yeah, it's hot. Gonna have to wait a minute and let it cool down, okay? Cool down. Life feels simple right now and sacred in its simplicity. Every meal, every laugh, every quiet moment is another reminder of what really matters. We're just here living and waiting, grounded in gratitude before everything changes. If you're new here, welcome to Raw and Rooted. Subscribe and walk this journey with us. This is only the beginning. It's nothing but peace, love and power, and we'll catch you in the next one.